I'm laughing because this piece of it is basic. The president did say that he wanted to be in office to bring inflation down, and he has not brought inflation down. That's all. He drove it up.
Look, he was like, look, man, I don't know what we're doing right now. This is a waste of airtime, right? I don't know, how much time they have with Pete. He's the guest and all that good stuff. And they're like, look, he had to interject, like, look, man, this is a pointless argument. Let's move past this. We get better conversation dialogue out of this after you just move past this one. It has gone up. Period. He said it was going to go down. It's gone up. And he has to answer for that. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Trey.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back at it with another video.
Another one.
First and foremost, thanks to everybody that's been subscribing. Really means a lot. A new YouTuber, so it's helping me get out there, helping me to grow a little bit. And, like I said, I'm new, trying new things out. So, yeah, I appreciate all the love. Today, we're going to be reacting to another video from Really American Media. I believe this one is by Tony Hindelman. And, just pretty much going into a lot of detail. I don't know if any of y'all caught Pete Buttigieg on CNBC, but they're going to go into a little bit about the war and the effect on the economy, right? Inflation, all of that good stuff. Y'all say what you will. Well, if you got any negative feelings towards Pete Buttigieg, the dude is smart. I would hate to have to be on the opposition trying to debate him. He's smart. He comes across as just no nonsense, just putting the facts out there, and he can articulate himself well. So I appreciate him. I don't know if he's gonna run for anything in the future, but yeah, I look forward to seeing what he does in the future. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video.
MAGA is stuck between a rock called Iran and a hard place called rising inflation. And this is a self-made disaster of epic proportion. It's gotten so bad and unhinged that none of the usual MAGA suspects can defend this when they're grilled about it. Not even the demons over on Fox News can explain why Mr. I'll bring down inflation is single-handedly causing gas prices to reach all new highs. Again, literally for no reason. Pete Buttigieg did an absolutely stellar job making CNBC's Joe Kernan stumble over his words. And I think it's worth watching the whole thing because it is a masterclass in how to shut these stooges up. Be sure you're subscribed to Really American if you aren't already, and let's jump right into it.
I'm saying this as somebody who knows what it's like to be sent to war by a U.S. president. Okay. And when a president sends you to war, when you and your buddies are on that gray tail plane going into a war zone, you do it with some level of confidence, some level of assurance that your chain of command, all the way up to the President of the United States, would not do this if they didn't have a choice.
Now that we're there, do you hope this has a successful outcome? There were 40,000 Iranians that were slaughtered by the same regime. 47 years of killing Americans, stirring trouble all around the world.
And how do you feel about that regime being left?
So even that premise is starting the argument on a bed of lies, essentially. Like, well, not a bed of lies. I'll just say it's disingenuous because all of those things. Yes, Iran has been sponsoring terrorism, and we haven't been in an open conflict with them for the last 47 years, right? Doesn't make sense to say that. Yes, they did murder a bunch of the population that were protesting and things of that nature, and that is it's unfortunate, and we wouldn't condone that anywhere, but it happens in a lot of other countries. So what makes this specific time rise to the level that we need to go and we need to insert ourselves into what's happening? And that's always been the argument, right? Why do we feel the need to interject? And by the way, have we made the lives of the civilians in Iran any better? I would argue to say no. We gassed them up. We put a battery in their back to have them go out and protest, and some say we even armed them and all that different stuff. And what do they have to show for it outside of us bombing the hell out of their country? And mind you, like, we're hitting a lot of, we've killed civilians. We've displaced a lot of civilians. Mind you, we've killed a lot of high value targets as well. But yeah, so prefacing his stance with that stuff, I think that's disingenuous. But I'm sorry. Let's get back to it.
Intact by this president.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, and I don't know what might happen.
Is
that an argument?
So you don't want this to work, and it was just a bad move. You want us to pull out now?
Look, there's no obvious way out now, but I want to make sure that this ends in a way that, first of all, our economy can recover, that we're not paying so much for gas. I mean, right now, oil's $100, jet fuel's $200, gas is over $4, diesel's like $5.50.
You averaged 380 under Biden for 4 years.
Yeah, and when we left, inflation was lower than it is today.
You accounted for 21.5% pricing.
This president took the inflation rate up. This president took the inflation rate up. It's more than 3% year on year. You saw the numbers just come out. It's more than 3% year on year.
Okay. There's PCE, there's
core.
It is. The math is direct.
Yeah.
The math is the math.
So even I believe it is one of the co-hosts, right? So even the co-host is like, hey, look, man, the math is, you can't lie about the math, because people are about to pull this shit up and be fact checking us. Like, look, man, the math is there. He's got you on the math. He don't really back down though.
Look,
it fluctuates each month from 2.7 to 3%.
It's higher than when he got here,
It's
Joe.
not 9%.
His central campaign promise was he was going to take inflation and drive it down, and instead he took inflation and it's up.
I thought the Fed,
it was 3 when he got here, and now it's more. It could not be simpler than that.
It's around 3, and we're involved in a war.
He said on day one it would go down. He came in on day one, and now it's up.
It's up to 3%. It was 21.5% price
promised
increases
it would go
over
down
4 years. Over 4 years, it was 21.5%.
He promised it would go down.
Democrats own the affordability crisis.
Listen to me.
Period.
Why did the president fail to keep his promise?
You don't think Democrats own the affordability crisis?
Why did the president fail to keep his promise to lower prices, in your opinion?
I'm laughing because this piece of it is basic. The president did say that he wanted to be in office to bring inflation down, and he has not brought inflation down. That's all.
He drove it up.
Look, he was like, look, man, I don't know what we're doing right now. This is a waste of airtime, right? I don't know, how much time they have with Pete. He's the guest and all that good stuff. And they're like, look, he had to interject, like, look, man, this is a pointless argument. Let's move past this. We get better conversation, dialogue out of this after you just move past this one. It has gone up. Period. He said it was going to go down. It's gone up. And he has to answer for that. That should be it. But when you're so used to filibustering, that, like, this whole, I don't remember when it became real popular to do this thing, right? But I hate it. I hate the, instead of us having a conversation on the facts, on the topic, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about how somebody else did, and some, like, for all the dudes that are, watching the video and whatever, and for the ladies, I apologize where I'm about to take this. But you ever been having an argument with your girl and y'all are having a conversation based on the situation at hand? Like, whatever the current topic is. And then instead of sticking to that current topic, we're talking about something that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And maybe it's relevant, but it's not recent. It's not part of the conversation. A lot of the times it's not even relevant. It's just based on some sort of emotion that it kicked up. All that to say, he's trying to get you to stay on that simple premise. He said he would lower it. It's gone up. Period. we don't got to talk about Biden. We don't got to talk about how inflation was up during Biden, during COVID and all that, because it's not apples to apples. It's apples to oranges. It's not the same conversation. And I hate the fact that that's become a thing that you just do when you're having a debate or a conversation with somebody. It shouldn't even be a debate, but this is what the world has become. Like, your guy did it worse. What are we doing?
They failed. He drove it up.
Mr. Secretary, let's talk
Tariffs
a little bit.
have had a minimal effect.
You tell a family where I live that $1,000 per household is minimal.
From the 21.5% increase that the Democrats.
No, we can argue all
can't
day
let
about
it go.
just how bad COVID was and how bad it got and what it took to come back from that. But you call it where I live, $1,000 per household isn't minimal.
Now Democrats found religion on inflation. After presiding over the worst inflation in 40 years, now you found religion.
It's 2026. They're in
I'm aware of
charge.
that.
You guys are in charge.
I'm aware of that.
What are you going to do differently?
Look,
What are you going to do differently to make the prices actually go down like you promised a year ago?
number one, we got to get through this war, and you've heard people.
We got to get through this war. We didn't have to be fighting this war. What are we doing?
That's a matter of opinion. You can't say that.
It's a matter of opinion that I share with most Americans and a large number of Republicans.
It's a matter of opinion. We started this war before you made the case to the American people, right? The president, the administration, they started the war before they made the case. Then once they started the war, they said, hey, well, first thing they said is we had to do it because Israel was going to attack and we were going to get pulled into it, which is probably the most accurate. That was probably the last time they were truthful about why we did it. And then, we were saying, hey, they were close to having nuclear weapons. They were still, still continuing their nuclear program. Oh, by the way, they killed 40,000, protesters, which that number has been inflated. Like, all these things to say, we were told after the fact why we were in a war. And now you want to use that as the reason why prices are going to be up for a while and y'all are going to have to deal with the fact that prices are up. But mind you, all these other things that we've done in this current administration, which we're only a year and a half in, I know it feels like a fucking, century since he was inaugurated, but all these things that, tariffs, people losing their jobs, terrorizing cities, tariffs. Well, I said tariffs already, but all of these things have been increasing prices on everyday life. Now the war is increasing prices on gas, and that's going to have a lasting effect. But you only want to focus on the current things and say, hey, there's going to be a little bit of hardship because of the situation that we're in right now. But these are all things that this administration has decided to do. So Pete is right to call it out, and Buddy is just floundering, trying to just go through all the talking points, every talking points he could pull out of his bag.
There's a whole bunch of MAGA people who bought into this president because they actually believed
He's got
in what he said he would get us into a
75%
war.
Republican approval for the war.
You don't start with the approval you have within your own party. But the point is, the MAGA coalition.
Democrats aren't going to approve of anything.
I'm talking about Americans. Americans disapprove of the president and their right to do so.
He's got the same approval rating other presidents have had at this point in the term, a little bit above,
This
42%.
president right now is unpopular for very good reasons. One of which
He's
is
no
that he's
more
made
unpopular
life
than
more
Obama was
expensive.
or Biden was at the same at the same point of his presidency.
That depends on which polls you're looking at, but by and large, no. I'm sorry, but I've been out on the trail. I was in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is a Trump plus 38 district, or it was.
I know
We
the
had
number.
500 people.
You'll get a chance to prove that in November
500
this
people.
year.
Okay. We had a chance to prove it last week.
The
when
Senate
there was a
might go. I
25%
understand
over.
it.
Yeah, because people are
Presidents make difficult decisions, obviously.
Yeah, but usually they make difficult decisions to try to make other people better off. This president's made decisions to make himself better off. That's definitely happened. If you're the kind of person who can pay $1 million for the entry fee to Mar-a-Lago, then you're doing great. But everybody else is hurting right now.
Kernan was absolutely flabbergasted there when forced to explain how Trump is bringing down inflation, let alone gas prices that are about to shoot through the roof, and they're already inches from the ceiling. Pete's performance was so good that Fox spent a whole segment whining about it. And when Jessica Tarlov defended his point, the four brainlets on this show couldn't come up with a single counterpoint. They just screamed Biden, Biden, Biden.
The point that Pete Buttigieg was making this morning on CNBC, I think, is a worthy one, that there was a deal in place. And if you want to change it up, if you want to add new restrictions or enhancements that you think are going to make it better, that's a good place to start. But by ripping it up and then starting from zero and sending in a team of real estate developers who, yes, got hostages out of Gaza, but the ceasefire in Gaza, that's fake too. That's not, ask people what's going on in Gaza right now. There's no ceasefire, and there's the Board of Peace isn't even funded, and maybe we'll get to Gaza-Lago or whatever.
President Trump solved eight conflicts. How many did Biden solve?
Oh my God. This is the
Name
thing.
one.
Oh, I hate conflict shit. Like, at some point in time, you got to realize that it's not sticking. Well, no, you know what? No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can keep saying the lie. You keep saying the lie long enough. You don't need everybody, right? You don't need, you tell a lie to 10 people. I guess you don't need 10 people to believe it. You just need 3 to believe it so adamantly that they're willing to argue till the crows go home, like to other people. I don't know. Oh man.
And this is what happened with Pete Buttigieg.
Real estate developers,
TV.
I'll put my money on them.
So let's look at the facts here. Inflation is up to 3.3%, a massive spike. Again, with no pandemic as an underlying cause, just the pandemic of idiocy coming from Trump's orange head. And it's making MAGA realize that their God King is more like a dog kink. It should be illegal. This maglet said, realizing that we just printed the highest inflation since 2024 just to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, which was already open before we did anything at all. Exactly. This is the most pointless self-own a world leader has ever done in modern history. This graph has been going around recently, showing the massive drop in oil going through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the full effects of this drop are just now starting to be felt here in the United States. Like, I'm sure you...
Yeah, and I if y'all are terminally online like me, the only reason why we really haven't been going through it as bad as we could have is because we dipped into our oil reserves, right? But our allies were once upon a time our allies. I don't know how they feel about us now that we're shitting on them every time Trump's in front of a goddamn microphone. But yeah, I don't know if I don't think they're gonna keep dipping into the reserve. So depending on how much longer we keep at this, it's going to start to affect us too.
You guys already know the effect is absolutely insane at the gas pump. Here's a post by More Perfect Union. The March data has gasoline inflation at 21.2%, the biggest jump on record since 1967. This user says, again, we're not so ready for what's about to happen to the economy. And I fear that this is true. Yeah. Just like the light from the sun, there's a delay in the full hit. And that will likely come in May, maybe even afterwards, as this war doesn't really seem to be close to over. As of today, Iranian delegations are arriving in Pakistan for negotiations after the United States seemingly accepted their 4 preconditions. Now, these preconditions don't really seem like something that Trump or Netanyahu are actually going to honor, however. Here they are. Number 1, the release of Iran's frozen assets. Number 2, a ceasefire in Lebanon. That's going to be hard for Netanyahu. Number 3, limitations on passage through the Strait of Hormuz to 15 vessels per day with transit payment. This one is going to be hard for Trump, who already bitched and moaned about the fact that Iran was going to charge $2 million per tanker, which, mind you, they didn't charge anything before this war started. Number 4, the prohibition of any redeployment of U.S. forces and equipments. absolutely insane that Trump accepted this. There is absolutely no way that Trump's military is going to honor this last precondition. So buckle up, folks, or rather lace up, folks, because a lot of us are going to be doing a lot of walking in the near future. Well, on top of everything else in our lives going to shit once energy prices become untenable. Yippee! I sure am happy we didn't invest those billions of dollars into, say, I don't know, the Green New Deal, so we would have had some renewable energy that might help this ongoing energy crisis that Trump is putting us through. But here we are, so I'll keep you updated on what these donkey dicks are up to. But in the meantime, make sure you're subscribed to Really American if you aren't already to join our anti-MAGA resistance. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.
So Hinderman is how you say his name. But yeah, Really American, once again, make sure if y'all haven't already, go over there and subscribe. This is a mess, man. I know that, you know, I don't know how much people are really paying attention to it. Appreciate Pete for breaking it down in the simplest of terms. Like, he said that he was going to lower it. He said he went off of groceries. Remember that simple word, groceries. And you know, people always, you know, want to make it seem like their life was so much better under Trump. And I didn't feel it then. I don't feel it now. But what do y'all think? Is my bias showing again, or, you know, do y'all agree in that we are not, you know, we don't know what we don't know up to this point. We don't know how bad it's going to get. You know, I've heard some estimations and things like that on whether or not, you know, oil could go up to $200 a barrel and things of that nature. And if that happens, then, hey, buckle up. Yeah, he is right. We will be lacing up. But once again, if y'all learned anything, make sure and share it with your people. Keep the information going. Keep the information flowing. And until next time, I'll holla at you.
I pop out, they go out, so celebrity. Too busy winning, I forgot that I got friend.